Salarah Starre is a UK-based advanced law of attraction teacher trainer, coach, public speaker, and leading wellness expert. She will share life-changing wisdom about the law of attraction and how you can use this powerful universal law to build a foundation for bigger and bolder manifesting results. It is time to create the life you deserve, and with Salarah's help, you will.
And a very, very warm welcome once again to Manifesting Made Easy with myself, Salarah Starre, your law of attraction coach and spiritual mentor. I help you to master your manifestations and your life. And what an honor it is to be with you once again. I can't believe how fast these weeks are literally whizzing by. And thanks again for your lovely feedback on my podcast. It is a real honor for me to bring to you lifelong wisdom teachings to help navigate your path too. I know that the path can feel a little bit tricky at times, and having some words of wisdom can be the difference that makes the difference along our journey. So today we're going to be focusing on the inner child and the law of attraction. Now, this is inspired by a weekend intensive retreat that I've got coming up in person in September, mid-September. And there is one space left on that, by the way. So if you're feeling called after listening to today's show, then I will pop the link in the show notes so you can have a little look and see if that resonates with you. But when I first started my law of attraction journey in 2006, I had no idea just how important our inner healing and our inner child work was when it comes to manifestations. A lot of people will do their manifestations, affirmations, visualizations, journaling, etc., and get so far, and then wonder why the manifestations don't go any further, or perhaps get the opposite of what they want. And a lot of this is down to our subconscious programming and patterning, which was installed up until age 7. And a lot of the stuff now, later on in our life, we have no idea on a conscious level that any of that is actually ruling the manifestation roost. So, in fact, I just want to be completely open here and say I didn't even know what an inner child was, let alone that it played a massive role in my manifestations. And like I said, it wasn't until my manifestations weren't working, then I went on a journey to do a little bit of a deeper dig to find out why. So, I knew that things weren't working out in my life. I couldn't pinpoint what I needed to do either. I absolutely knew that there were multiple things requiring healing within me, just by the sheer fact that my life had been so traumatic, especially in my upbringing. And I noticed this because of my relationships, my finances, my health. They were completely out of alignment, totally out of alignment with everything that I wanted to experience. And, no matter how much I put in the work, I just wasn't really getting the results that I wanted. So I knew that my past had impacted me, but I had no idea just how wounded my inner child was, and it was stopping my manifestations from being all that I knew in my heart that they could be. Now, if you're listening to this and you're now starting to reflect on your own childhood, and you're there thinking, well, actually, I had a really good childhood, and, I did all the normal things, and I would invite you to take a moment to think about, where my emotional needs met. What were our finances like? When there was anger, how was anger displayed and dealt with in the house? And there's loads of questions that we can ask around this particular topic. And we may have been absolutely fantastic financially, but when we were naughty, we maybe felt like we didn't deserve to receive good, or we were left in our room and isolated for a period of time, which made us feel unlovable. And there's all these programs that our inner child started to acquire. I'm not important, I'm not lovable, I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving, which then create a driving force as to whether our manifestations will work or not. So inner child work is such a super effective way of addressing emotional needs that weren't met for us as children. The younger aspect of us was never quite loved the way that he or she needed as a child. It's not to say that we weren't loved, right? But quite often our parents loved us the way that they were either loved or the way that they needed loving, but not the way that we needed loving. And that's when some of the emotional voids and issues can start. And they only really start to manifest themselves or to show themselves years later, because we will notice we'll notice unhappiness, unhelpful patterns and cycles reoccurring and continuously playing out in our life as a result of that. And things just aren't working out the way we want them to work out. So I was first introduced to this concept of inner child via the teachings of a very beautiful and powerful, I want to say guru, but she's just way more than that, Louise L. Hay. And her powerful intensive workshop called You Can Heal Your Life was an absolute game changer for me. And I went on this workshop, this intensive workshop, around about 2010. I loved it so much and experienced so many wonderful results in my life and in my manifestation practice after I attended the course that I decided to become a licensed teacher of her work. And ever since, I've run intensives. So like I say, twice a year, I run these Louise Hay You Can Heal Your Life intensives. And I've got one coming up mid-September. I'm going to just double check the date because I want to say the 19th, but it's not the 19th. It is the 16th and 17th of September. So if you are near Winchester or Hampshire or anywhere like at that time, it would be really, really fantastic if you're feeling called to book onto the course. Like I say, we've got one space left. It'd be wonderful to have you there. And it's a very, very gentle, kind, simply put together, powerful, transformational weekend that leaves everybody feeling lighter, brighter, more loved, and more optimistic about their future. And as a result of that, I started to experience many wonderful results in my manifestation practice. In fact, I started getting some really crazy results just after making a few shifts within my own journey. So basically, we were led through very simple and powerful processes. And I was introduced to the younger me. And I was able to identify key moments in my life where certain wounds were causing obstructions to what I was and what I wanted to experience in my life. And I didn't quite realize just how much pain the younger me was in. She needed me. And after learning some techniques, I knew how to connect with her. I knew how to give her the love and the support that she needed in order to flourish. And when I first made this decision, I have to say, I just sobbed and sobbed. And I thought to myself, you know, where had I been all of my life? So if there are still some things in your life that aren't working out the way you would like them to, then it may very well mean that your inner child could do with a little bit of further healing, connection, so that you can reach that beautiful place of peace inside and manifest your dreams, manifest close, loving relationships, manifest abundance on higher levels before, manifest better health. So the reason why this podcast has been so important to share with you today is because I know that this will impact your law of attraction practice. They're so closely related. And like I said, I started to see profound results in my own life. So I am now an absolute advocate for inner child work and allowing the magic of my own inner child now to bring fun, imagination, and creativity back into my life. But how does healing your inner child help with your manifestations? Just taking a little sip of water there. So when your inner child has unresolved wounds, it creates blocks that stop your desires from manifesting the way that you would like them to. In fact, quite often, when we try and manifest, we can get the opposite of what we want. And the very thing that we want eludes us completely. Until we heal this, we can't let go of the limiting beliefs. And we struggle to leave that space of victim zone, even if that is more subconscious than conscious. And when we're in this mode, we're very disempowered. And this ends up creating more of the circumstances that we're so desperately trying to escape, hence the patterns and cycles I referred to earlier. But how is it that we recognize the wounds of our inner child? So many of us will have very different ways of understanding this. And the way that I have come to understand it is that when we are triggered, there is always an underlying feeling that is activated. It might come out as anger or frustration or fear or worry or doubt. But these are only side effects because there is always something deeper going on. So have you ever paid attention to the little voice inside of you? Like, no matter how old you are right now, there are so many younger versions of you inside of you. It's a bit like a Russian doll. I love the example of the Russian doll. And some of these versions have very happy memories, and some of these versions carry very seated wounds. It is the wounds that we experience that create the blocks in our current life and affect the way that we see and react to the world around us. And these are the ones that, when addressed and healed, create noticeable shifts in our current reality. So learning to see, to feel, and to validate and care and reassure the younger version of ourselves is what inner child work is all about. And this is what creates deep and profound vibrational shifts inside of us as a result. This can be one of the most powerful processes for unlocking your next level of your consciousness and helping you to create the reality that your heart truly desires. But the question is, how do we heal this aspect of ourselves so that we no longer experience the triggers, the limiting beliefs, and the blocks with our manifestations? There are so many wonderful ways to do this. And I have personally found the book You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay and her Heal Your Life Intensive Weekend one of the most powerful and fast tracks to healing any and many wounds. And what it has done is given me lifelong tools that I can use whenever anything comes up. And I've been using these tools for the last 13 years. And it's a powerful tool to have in your manifestation toolkit. Now, why is it so important to heal this when it comes to manifesting? It's because most of our limiting beliefs were formed when we were very little, up until age 7. Events that occur in later years tend to reinforce the limiting beliefs, creating a perpetual cycle of the same outcomes. And inner child work can resolve the effects from these wounds and provide a very clean slate for a very fresh and exciting new start. It raises our vibrations. We raise our frequency. And what happens when we raise our vibrations and we raise our frequency? We start to attract many wonderful new people and experiences in our life, which are more aligned with our dreams and with our vision. So the process of healing the inner child is one of the most important tasks that you will ever undertake. It does take time. Of course, it takes commitment, and it absolutely doesn't happen overnight. However, when practiced regularly, the results are very long-lasting and noticeable as well. And when you first make a sincere connection to your inner child, you may begin to feel every single emotion under the sun, and that's normal too. You'll also experience a deep sense of connection. You may start to tap into some of the sadness, some of the anger, some of the relief, some of the joy. And this shows that you have made a connection with your inner child and will be one of the most rewarding tasks, like I said, that you will ever undertake. So by allowing yourself this time to connect with your inner child and go within, you will slowly but surely begin to peel back the layers of your everyday coping mechanisms. And you'll then start to see real results in your life. So this, my friend, is an invitation for you to embark on a journey of inner child healing. If you've already been introduced to this, then this is an opportunity to go deeper. The universe always brings us the perfect information at the perfect time. If you would like to know a little bit more, like I said, Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life, is one of the most powerful books I've ever read. But if you want to do something more intensive, something more connective, then you can join my Heal Your Life weekend if it aligns with your time zone, of course, but also your calendar. All right. But in the meantime, sending you loads of love. If you have any questions with regards to inner child work, reach out, salarah@salarahstarre.com, and I'll be back with you same time next week. Take care for now.
Thanks for listening. Salarah Starre will be back next week with great insights into the law of attraction. In the meantime, please visit salarahstarre.com.